Allow. What it do? What it do? What it do? Howdy do? What's going on, y'all? What's this sticker doing all up in my grill? I can't win. What up, Christina? What up, Marika? Kenneth? What's up, Comanche? HE Dubs? Tyler? Chupa? Thank you guys for the gifts. Y'all, let's tap the screen. Let's get some debates going. What did I miss while I was sleeping? I just woke up and I felt so charged up. I need me some of that MAGA. I need me a full-grown, baby-headed MAGA. I need to talk to me a full-grown, baby-headed MAGA. We got the phone line on. You can't hear? Anyone else here? You can hear? Okay. Sweet. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop on in that box. Don't be scared. I'm a soy boy liberal cuck. And I love you. Hello?
Yo.
What's up? What do you like about Trump?
Yeah, I would say that I specifically support Trump in favor of the fact he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, which overturned Roe v. Wade, which ended up making abortion a more state problem, which ended up, coming a step closer to the abolition of abortion.
Okay. So, I don't know if I want to debate abortion with you, but I kind of want to debate you on something along the lines of that. So, depending on who to control, they have drug you to such an extreme with Trump, and I'm just curious, like if Hitler was pro-life and the only pro-life guy, would you choose him, or would you choose Mussolini or something?
No,
What would you choose?
I would go based more off of in terms of from my Christian view, I would choose who more aligns with my Christian ethics. And if we were to take though from like an atheist view, I'd go on utilitarian ethics, which would lead me to choose Trump over Hitler.
Trump over Hitler? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking around and I don't agree with the whole pro-life movement. I think it's silly and superstitious and religious, and I think that it has no business in our laws and our system. And the West, mostly the developed world, has done away with all this. We're just lagging behind.
How do you think laws are made?
I don't know. DEI for Republicans has done a lot for y'all.
No, I'm saying like, how do you think laws are made specifically? Like, would you say that? Would it be fair to say laws are made from an ethical code?
I don't know if when we talk about religion, that's the truth. No.
No, I'm talking about laws specifically, like the legal system.
I know, and
like
I just
don't. It being illegal to rape little children. That's from like an ethical standpoint, right? There's not necessarily any other standpoint you would take on that. Would you?
Well, that's not true. So, like, people who are religious would partake in that, and y'all did. So, like, Christians did it back in the early days. We still have that stuff
I
lingering
understand.
today.
Yeah, I know that's your view, but I'm asking you very specifically, like from an ethical code, right? Would you say that laws are made from an ethical code?
Yeah, sure, sure. They're supposed to be.
Yeah, great. So then, in terms of them being made from an ethical code, would I rather go with an ethical code which imposes a god
Uh-huh.
who may have some sort of objective set of rules or morality, or just kind of my preferences, right?
Again, I don't think that that's a thing. Like again, you guys use God to give us slavery and
Hmm.
child marriage and stuff. So I just don't
You
think
don't
it's
believe in
relevant.
God?
No,
Why would you say that?
I don't have any reason or like evidence that would
Evidence?
make me feel that way. There's no proof. There's no arguments. Uh,
Would you
there's
say
nothing
that
that would
it's
lead me to
fair?
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would you say that it would be fair to say that, it, from your view, specifically if I'm to steelman your view on God, right? You would say that if God is real, there would have to be some form of evidence, right?
No, just a reason, or a logical reason,
Yeah, that could be evidence.
anything like that. It could be evidence, but I'm not only limited to evidence.
Yeah, but we're not talking about just strictly empirical, right? We're talking about just evidence on any scale, right? Like for example, my evidence would be different from your standard of evidence. Would you agree?
Yeah, mine would be higher.
Yeah, exactly, right. So that's the point. So in terms of him meeting your standard of evidence, would it be fair that you would have to make some sort of should or ought claim for, or why it would necessitate that he should meet your standard of evidence?
Say that again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So why should he present evidence to you?
I think that if the alternative is to burn in hell because of the doubt of his existence,
Mhm.
because of this rule and framework that he's created, I think that I would have an argument against him just being like a masochist or a sadist.
Okay, great. So, so my question would then lead you to ask, in order for you to stay logically consistent, would you say that he would not only have to reveal himself to you, but to everybody? Meet not only your
Um,
standard, but everybody's standard of evidence?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Well, the issue with that is that it would lead you to a three horned argument or a trilemma. Would you like me to present that to you?
and yeah, enlighten me.
Yeah, so is there a logical impossibility with somebody having an illogical standard of evidence? For example, me stating, if God is true, then he'll make a square circle.
Yeah, I don't think that's coherent.
Yeah, so then that it would be fair then to say that it would lead you to one of three things. Either A, some requests are impossible and therefore he'd have to go beyond his logical constraints to prove himself to somebody. B, he'd have to go internally within them and change pretty much ontologically what a human is, imposing on their free will, and it would actually still contradict with the last statement, which is that he wouldn't have to do that and he could meet everybody's standard of evidence. Or C, he simply wouldn't meet somebody's standard of evidence and that would essentially cause another contradiction, which would be P, he does meet everyone's standard, and not P, he doesn't meet everyone's standard. So would you
Okay.
say it would be fair that to presuppose he would have to meet, your standard of evidence would be to presuppose an illogical God?
I I think that what you're doing is you're offering three different dilemmas that
A
um,
trilemma.
sure that is leaving out the very obvious fact that none of these are met, and that it's so
Yeah.
weak, the case for your Bible and the case for your God. It's so weak that I could make the same case for you about unicorns, and you wouldn't be able to prove me wrong.
Well, no, this argument isn't necessarily an argument. Is that your phone? I'm sorry. This argument isn't necessarily an argument to prove God. It would be an argument to disprove your, refuting of God. Essentially, this argument, if one of these three things were met, then it would prove your consensus, which is that we have an illogical God, right? So when you state things like, "Well, he must meet my standard of evidence," you're by through this trilemma presupposing that God must be illogical, right? Which we as Christians don't believe
Yeah,
necessarily.
I know. I think the whole fact that you've buried into this belief is just based on where you were born, and you kind of like
Hmm.
have this herd immunity from the standard of evidence that we require like in science or stuff like that, you have this herd immunity. So like I would posit that if I were on an island and there was like 12 people there and some
Mhm.
idiot came up with a book and he's like, oh look, there's a guy made, people were made of clay or 6,000 years old talking to snakes, yada yada, they'd laugh at him and be
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not real, and that would just fizzle out. But since it's something that came about when like the printing press was big and all this stuff, I feel like it just kind of took over. And when you actually break it down, there's just so little. There's just so little to look at, to point to say that this is even a story we could even entertain as being truth
Yeah,
or
but
anything.
my argument specifically is that when you claim that it's very little, right, is that the standards of evidence vary, meaning what you consider to be little, I would consider to be huge, and that's kind of where my argument comes from. But what I do actually is I actually grant it. I'll grant that there's no God, that he's actually a made up sky daddy, and I'll state that. Well, then it's just kind of my preferences. And would you say that I would be wrong to have the preference that abortion's wrong?
Yeah, I would debate you on that, and I would say that what is your standard for mortal consideration of a life? Is it
Yeah,
all
just my
life?
preferences.
Is it just your preferences? Can you explain the preference in regards to your standard for life?
Yeah, my standard for life is anyone who has been conceived, conception.
Okay, so simply like not the egg being fertilized, just simply the act of sex. What is it?
Sure, yeah, the conception of a child, the conception of a
All
fetus.
right, well, child is sloppy. Yeah, fetus, or maybe zygote because it's not a fetus yet.
Zygote could be fair, yes.
Okay, there we go. So you care about things that, in my mind, are just multicellular organisms. They don't live, breathe, think. I mean, they're alive, but they don't have anything in which we can harm that they would experience. And I would make the argument that, I don't know, if you're not vegan, you would have a weird line to draw there between simply just something that is human, multicellular life versus like a living, breathing pig.
Well, it
Uh,
wouldn't be logically inconsistent for me to have a preference for human life but not animal life, right? If it's all just basically subjective, there would be no like necessarily objective or logical standard I'd have to hold to.
so you just arbitrarily prefer humans over pigs.
I could if I wanted to, yeah, what would be wrong with that?
All right, but that would just show a weak point in your beliefs
Yeah, but what would hang on, how would that be weak? Explain
because it's
that.
an arbitrarily like non-reason for you to choose people or multicellular life over a pig.
Well, hang on. From a moral ought standard, wouldn't it be at its foundation the same as your moral ought? Like, for example, if you were to claim, oh, pigs and humans are equal, at its foundation, it's just an opinion, just like mine is just an opinion.
No, because I can articulate my opinion.
Yeah, but at its foundation, it's still the same as mine.
Yeah, but I know, but
Just
mine
because
has a
yours
deep
looks
mine has
fancier.
mine is deep meaning. Mine is deep meaning and it's coded in reason, and I think yours is coded in like superstition, and it also goes against certain accounts of your own religion too.
Well, no. In terms of, like I said, I'm for argument's sake granting that my religion is just completely false, and let's just say that hypothetically speaking, or for argument's sake, I'm taking on the subjective morality viewpoint. I'm stating very specifically at our foundation, at your foundation too, our opinions are equally as valid. When you state that yours has more meaning or root to it, all you're saying is, well, mine looks fancier on the outside, but we all
Mine
are both
mine
the
creates
exact
less
same at our
suffering.
foundation.
So mine
Can
creates
I?
less suffering. There you go.
Hang on, but that's
What's
it. But
up?
that's the issue. It creates less suffering. But what is suffering, right? It would just be subjective, right? What you would consider to be suffering, I
All
wouldn't.
suffering is subjective. Yeah.
I think we're
Exactly. That's the
misunderstanding
point.
what
Is at
subjective
its
is.
foundation.
Guest, you don't
At,
know what subjective is. I'm going to be completely
yeah,
honest with you. I'm
yeah, I can
gonna
define it right
I'm
now.
up here to help the conversation just really quickly. You're taking subjective to simply mean opinion. Subjective is going to be mind dependent instead of
Yeah, I
objective, which
know.
would be mind. Okay, then why are you treating it like an opinion? Because it's going to be based upon principles like the harm principle Pickles is referencing, instead of just like an overarching belief in it, like a higher power.
No, the subjective would be opinion because if it's something that is mind independent, wouldn't you state that it would be fact? Are there any facts which are mind dependent?
I would say that like objective viewpoint is also going to be dependent on one's viewpoint as well.
No,
I don't think you
I
can get away
understand that,
from
but I'm
that.
saying is there a fact which is within a subjective mindset.
A fact was that, yes, because it's mind dependent. Yes.
Wait, are facts mind dependent?
Are facts mind dependent?
Yeah.
I would say because you need to determine if it is a fact or not, it is dependent upon your mind. You can't
So
determine
facts
it
would
to be a
be
fact
mind
without your
dependent.
mind.
So are there any true facts then, if it's all mind dependent? Meaning, if no minds were there to do it, to conceive the facts, would the facts still be so?
I
It
think
wouldn't
that
actually be a
yeah,
fact then.
yeah.
It wouldn't
I
be a
don't know.
fact then.
I
So
think you can make an argument
facts are mind
that
dependent.
I think that you can make an argument that all facts are mind dependent. Like, what is a standard for what is a fact? And yes, so like for you, God is a fact. All this shit. I think that the Earth, the Big Bang happened, and which you would say, oh, there's what's the evidence for that or something like. So yes, it is
So facts would
absolutely
be mind
subjective.
dependent. Well,
Yes.
hang on. So you would say that there are no universal truths then.
No, I mean, depending on who you are, no.
But wouldn't that be a universal truth? That there are no universal truths? Wouldn't that just be self-refuting?
Sure, I guess it's the paradox of truth.
Yeah, but is that your position, or I'm confused? 'Cause I didn't know if Artemis was taking that position. You
I'm
were.
not taking a
I'm more
position. I'm
confused.
just simply saying that the way that you're talking about subjective, like, viewpoint, it's not really how it's like viewed in like the
Yeah.
context of abortion debate.
Well, hang on. We're talking about ethics, right? Would you say that there's any ethical standard which we can look to, some sort of objective or factual standard for ethics?
I would say based upon like I usually go off of harm principles.
Yeah, but if those harm principles, which are facts, are just mind dependent on how you perceive what harm is, then it would just be subjective.
Right.
But like based on the subjectivity, like I would say that like we should lessen suffering. So if it's going to be a lessening of suffering, then that is going to
But
be the ultimate
that's
goal.
the problem right there. Is you say we should lessen suffering, but what you consider suffering is different from what I consider suffering.
But I'm going based upon what it looks like in a pain scale.
Yeah, but hang on. But pain.
Wait, would you say
once again,
pain is not suffering?
Yeah, no. Well, for some people, what would you consider? What are we defining pain as? Like physical pain? Some people find pleasure in physical pain.
Wait, that could still
right?
be suffering.
Wait, you can
hang
enjoy
on. Suffering.
What is suffering? What is suffering?
What is suffering? I would say that is an infliction of harm. It doesn't mean that you might not enjoy the suffering.
I would say it would also be just an unpreferable state of mind to a degree.
You guys are contradicting each other because Artemis is saying that you can prefer suffering. Pickles, you're saying that it would be unpreferable. That would create a contradiction. So I would agree with you, Pickles, that it would be an unpreferable state of mind. But Artemis is arguing that you can prefer harm. But that would be self-refuting because for you to say that we shouldn't have harm, but then that state that people can prefer harm, well, why shouldn't I just go with harm if I prefer it?
So there's just a term for that, and there's people that on a higher level internally, maybe subconsciously or consciously, whatever, who would feel the physical pain but find enjoyment in another sense.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And it would exceed the pain.
Stating that, Artemis is stating that pain in general, the unpreferable can be found to be preferable. So that's why I was a little confused.
No, that's not what I'm stating specifically. I'm going on the basis that there are going to be some times when you are experiencing suffering that can be pleasurable. I'm not saying that all times.
Yeah, but when we talk about suffering in specific, you're defining suffering as what, though? As harm? But that's the thing, it's circular. Because I asked you at the very beginning to define harm, and you said that, and you essentially, it led you down to suffering, and then when I asked you to define suffering,
I was going up to suffering because you said suffering. I use harm principle.
Yeah, okay. When I already asked you to define harm, you use suffering to define it.
I don't remember you asking me to define harm.
Okay, well, go ahead and define harm then.
I want to make sure I give you my accurate definition there. Just give me a moment. Like I said, I came up here to literally clear up the subjective conversation, not.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I think you've caused more confusion by giving your opinion, which is completely subjective. Get the joke there?
I just don't think you know how to debate philosophy. If I could just be completely frank with you.
Well, hang on. You're the one who just stated that that there can be facts that are mind dependent.
I would say we can't establish something as a fact without it being mind dependent. You keep misrepresenting the things I'm saying.
On. No. I specifically asked you, are facts mind dependent? And you said technically yes.
Yeah,
right?
but technically they
Establishing a
are.
fact is different. No, okay, but just because I can't establish, so for example, right, if we had a baby, he can't establish what facts are. That doesn't mean facts don't exist,
No,
right?
let
That
me
doesn't
ask you
mean
this
facts
question. No,
aren't.
no, no. I'm going to ask you this question because
Hmm.
you
Go
keep
for it.
misrepresenting what I'm stating, and I think it's really interesting. So if I told you, for
Maybe I don't
example,
understand.
then it's really going to be easy. So let's say that we're standing in a field,
Hmm.
right? Okay,
Hmm.
and we look in front of us, and there is a pine tree there. Okay, we know its
Yep.
genus, we know its species. I point it and go, that's a pine tree. That is factually a pine tree.
Okay.
Okay. Now imagine that we live in a reality to which that tree has not been named.
Okay.
A tree will never have a name. In fact, it's not even called a tree. It simply exists. No
Yep.
longer is that factually a pine tree because we named it a pine tree. We were using
Well,
mind
no, hang
dependence
on.
to
But you
attribute a
just
name
your
to
analogy
it.
doesn't work though. Your hypothetical doesn't work because you're right in the sense of the title for that pine tree is subjective, meaning from if you go from country to country, right? If we take water for example, water here means is water. H2O is water, but H2O in other lands are agua, right? But they're still the exact same thing, right?
I
When I go and I point at water and I say, hey,
You're
that's water, and
misrepresenting
somebody
it
else,
again. You're misrepresenting it.
no,
I'm
no, no,
talking
I'm
about
not
the
trying to
naming in
misrepresent it.
any way. The naming in
Exactly,
any
but that's the
way.
point. No, but that's exactly what I'm representing. You're saying that the titles are subjective, but the tree itself is still objectively a tree.
Wait,
Yes?
how is it objectively a tree? That's what I'm asking you.
No, yeah, you're talking. Yeah, but if we're to use a title tree, right, as a descriptor for what a tree is, right? Even if I were to say the descriptor for a tree is water, let's say we called trees water, actually, right? It would still technically be a water or a tree because it has the characteristics. It still has those
I
characteristics
I
of
want
what we
to
call the descriptor objectively.
I want to hijack the conversation. I don't think anybody's here for a field debate. I think this is
Yeah, that's
going
fair.
down to nothing. Are you saying that you're virtue signaling to the 700,000 plus portions that we have every year? Is that what you're saying?
Like virtue.
That
What do you
Trump
mean by?
Trump is saving these 700,000 fetuses or whatever?
No, I'm just saying based on my subjective preferences that I just have the opinion or feeling Trump is better in terms of the moral standing in terms of abortions, which I value more than anything.
Okay, so you value abortion. Do you value abortion over human, like fully grown human children or people? If you were to save 700,000 fetuses versus 700,000 actual people, who would you save?
I would say that it would become kind of a stalemate in terms of how I perceive them because I would perceive the fetuses the same. Now, in terms of
That,
let's say
that-
I was
that's
God
perfect.
and I
That's
had the
perfect. That's
well,
perfect.
what I'm saying is, let's say I was God and I had the foresight of understanding in terms of if these 700 fetuses are going to become humans or if these 700 humans are are going to live extensions of their lives, right? We would just, from an atheist view, we would just come to a utilitarian perspective and go based on that. You
Okay,
see kind
so
of what I mean?
what if it was 1.4 million versus 700k fetuses? Would you choose the 1.4 million humans?
The 1.4 million over 700 fetuses.
Yeah, 700k.
Like I said again, it would kind of depend on the all-knowingness, right? If I knew exactly what the one, so for example, if we had 1.4, Schmittlers versus 700k fetuses who were going to be, maybe future Kamalas, right? There could be some, lenience there within the utilitarian aspect, right? If I'm
But
just
we
saying an
can't make
atheist
those
view, because I don't want
determinations.
to.
But you're making that determination with the abortion
Well, so
stuff,
yeah, so
right?
based on my foresight, right, from what I could understand, I would choose the to value and save the lives of the higher number of people.
Perfect. All right. So Trump cut USAID, and we are going to see 14 million preventable deaths by 2030. So
Okay.
checkmate.
Well, what do you mean checkmate?
So
How
Trump
would
has
that?
caused
How's
more
that?
deaths
That would
than
be
the fetuses
disanalogy.
you've saved.
Well, no. The fetuses I've saved, technically, there's been more abortion deaths than any war ever, right?
Yeah.
So if we're to take that abortion, well, really quickly, let me make my point just so I can land, right? If we're to take abortion to be legal, right, we have to think about the causes in the future too. So, for example, let's just state that I were to take your, your statement there to be true that apparently he's gonna unalive 14 million or 1.4 million
No,
people, right?
14
I would
million.
still okay, 14 million people. I would still take from the utilitarian view that him not being there and Kamala being there pushing towards a abortion laws being no longer there, right, would eventually lead to more fetuses actually being killed over a longer span of time, right? So if
The
we're to
math
take
doesn't
those
math
14
there.
million,
That's
well, how
not
would
the
it not
case.
math? Go ahead and explain that.
So USAID, we're expecting to see 14 million by 2030. You won't have that many abortions by 2030.
Yeah, but but here's where your math isn't mathing, right? After that 14 million, is there any more to be killed?
Yes.
There are more to be
Abortion will
killed. How
always
many?
Yes.
How many?
happen.
Yeah, that's the point. Artemis brought up the point. Abortion will always happen over a longer span of time. This law that's apparently being passed, where 14 million are going to die, this would be over a
It's
shorter
already
span
done.
of time. So if I'm a
No,
well,
this
if I'm
is
to look,
through 2030, and if the cuts continue, it keeps going. More and more people die. 25 million,
great,
35 million. So it's more
great.
people are dying because of Trump.
I won't even fact check you on that. I'll grant it. And from a utilitarian aspect, it would still be better. You'd have to agree because from that aspect, if we're to look future wise, right, we would state that, well, 100 years from now, more than 14 million fetuses are going to die. You couldn't really necessarily put a number, but I could say that for as long as human history will go on, more abortions are going to happen. Therefore, it's going to be actually more causally bad if we don't take necessary steps to ban it.
I don't think so. I think we still have a trajectory of more deaths from the cuts of USAID.
Yeah, but that's just your preferences, my preferences, right? So
Yeah, I care about actual living, breathing humans that are going to die from AIDS and hunger, and you're protecting single cellular organisms that don't experience that.
That can't die?
That can't experience harm.
That can't experience death?
Can't experience harm, suffering.
Wait, so if I had a drug, right, that made you feel absolutely no pain whatsoever, emotional, in any way, would you say that it would now be fair for me to unalive you because you can't experience pain?
No, because that would be interfering with my agency, which fetuses also don't have.
Fetuses don't have agency?
Also,
No.
past experiences
But
as well.
wouldn't that just but you saying they don't have agency?
Correct.
Wouldn't that just be my preferences?
No, agency. Well, yeah, sure. I have a preference over something that has agency versus something that doesn't, because something that is not able to enact its own agency is being stifled and will also, in turn, just have suffering.
Yeah, but you granting permission or moral agency to something or not something, right? That would just be your preferences. Like, for example, I could grant moral agency or moral agency to.
I could also just say it's utilitarian. Yeah.
Well, sure. From like a utilitarian aspect, how would that play out? Explain that.
So I would just say that this is just something that would allow more life to persist versus yours.
More, yeah, but demonstrate that. So, for example, I demonstrated it by stating abortion will always happen. So, over a longer span of time, more than 14 million fetuses who I've granted, moral agency to are going to be harmed or
you don't have that
die.
math. You don't have that math. I'm telling you right now. It's like 700K per year, and then we have 25 or 14 million in the next 4 years. Yeah. Do you think we'll hit 14 million abortions if we were to legal all throughout the United States? Also, the laws you're enacting is also causing more abortion.
Okay, great. So let me give you an analogy that would be analogous to this. Would you say it would be fair for me to? Would you rather have a law that killed 14 million people in the span of 4 years, or a law that killed about 700,000 people every year for the rest of human time?
This same thing happens too with my case. My model has a continuous death rate.
Mm-hmm. Your model has a continuous death rate.
Yes.
So can your model ever be stopped?
If we were to continue USAID?
If we were to continue USAID, every year 4 million would die?
If we don't continue USAID, we will see to the tune of 14 million every 4 years people dying.
Okay.
That is far more than your abortion number.
But not. Yeah, exactly. But here's the issue: it would be self-refuting at that point, right? Because then you would pull to, what are you pulling to state 14 million in terms of them dying? Like what factual reference are you using for that? Or is that just an opinion-based thing?
No, this is the USAID contributions to HIV and AIDS, malaria, and malnutrition. So if
You would
we
say
do not
so. Wait, hang on.
stifle the spread of these viruses in South Africa, it could come over here. It can go over to other countries. It can cause even more. It will spread to. It spreads exponentially rather than just like a static number.
Hang on. Okay, great. So you would say that the maximum possibility is 14 million then?
No, I think it exponentially spreads.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, but I'm saying within
I'm sorry,
4
this
years,
is like really bothering me, and I know Gemini is going to point out this too. Why are we valuing potential life over existing life? Like, why are we measuring these on a
Well,
scale?
I'm going to get to that right now, but really quickly, I just want to make sure I understand his point. So you're stating that in terms of what the study is referencing, it's studying that this could maximally reach 14 million lives.
No, I'm saying that by 2030 it's 14 million, but I'm gonna say that because viruses spread at an exponential rate, not just 1-to-1,
No,
that it
but what I'm
goes
stating
higher.
Yeah, what I'm saying more specifically is that your study is this stating on a maximum 14 million, or what's the most? What are you saying?
14 million by
Study off? Like,
2030.
is the minimum amount of people who will die no matter what,
Yes,
or is that the projected amount?
I mean that's projected. Yeah,
Wait, so I'm saying, like, for example, if
and
this law is in place,
and
really quickly, just so I'm
you're doing projections with abortions too. I'm reminding you.
yeah, I understand. So what I'm saying is, and that's kind of my point. What I'm saying is, in terms of if this law is in place, without a doubt, it's objectively fact. 14 million people are going to die.
Yes.
That's been proven factually.
Yeah, is it objectively true that 700,000 people are going to have abortions next year? It's the same. I would say it's the same standard, right?
Yeah, so we use projections, right, based on how we could,
Yeah, same with me.
entail things.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, great. So why could
gentlemen,
but that would be self-refuting, because I could just make the logical entailment that it's possible that 330 million people could.
Hi. Hey, I was just hoping to bring in some peace, some blessings. Good evening, everyone. Artemis, Pickles, and God.
Good evening. God bless.
I'm also a Christian. I'm a Vermitarian Christian. Have you heard of that denomination? We're small, but gaining steam.
Vermitarian, is that a Protestant religion?
Well, so, I mean, yes, we're like kind of an independent denomination, but basically we have a belief that worms are sacred animals that represent the humility of Christ. Yeah, I see Pickles is nodding. Amen. Yeah, thank you. You have to do the little wriggle too when you, yeah. So basically we believe that worms are the most sacred life form on earth, above and beyond humans themselves. So our mission is to protect their lives at all costs, above all other things. For instance, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I understand, because I looked it up. Vermitarian Christian. Are you stating, from like a vegetarian view, where you're talking about worms as in animals as a whole?
I mean, yeah, I think that's definitely relevant in this case, but we actually think that they're symbolic of the humility of Jesus Christ himself. So we hold them to be sacred above all other life forms, really. Actually, worms and sperms is kind of a new thing that we're pushing too, because we also think that sperm are sacred. It's like the sacred seed, above and beyond even just like the eggs of a woman, because they're motile. So those are the two life forms that we want to protect above and beyond all other things. One campaign that we're pushing right now is mandatory vasectomies for men, actually, to keep sperm in its purest form and ensure that women aren't impregnated. And because of course, at the end of this, we're trying to protect fetus lives and ensure there aren't abortions, right, and unwanted pregnancies. So I wanted to see if that's something you would want to look into as a pro-life individual as well, supporting mandatory vasectomies for men.
I think y'all just opened up a church actually in like East Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's wonderful. Artemis, I hope that you and yours will come and see the goodness for yourselves.
Yeah, we were thinking about stopping by.
I would just say, from my Christian perspective, from the apostolic succession of the churches that I follow, I would say we actually hold to the Bible to be true. We don't hold to any of that, Protestant nonsense. We love
your right to be able to do that, and you should respect ours.
She also didn't say she was
Protestant.
Protestant.
Of course. So what I'm saying, hang on really quick. I just want to land. I just want to state, from a Christian perspective, right? In terms of what Jesus says, right? I don't just cherry pick from the Bible. I actually take the whole Bible, right? In terms of what Jesus says. So, Gemini.
So you're
your
better than us,
specific
or
religion? No. I wouldn't say I'm better than you. I'm just giving my opinion, my
That's
preference
fine.
on
But
it,
like you
right?
said, it's
So,
all
Gemini,
opinions, right?
hang
We
on,
agree
Gemini.
that
I just have questions about.
there's a degree of subjectivity, right? That we were talking about,
Yeah. So
and the
Gemini,
definition of subjective is subjective.
does
But at the same
does your
time,
church believe Jesus is God?
yes.
Okay, great. So then, your church has several contradictions in it, and would be illogical, which would
well, same with
presuppose a
yours,
logical
right?
God.
Same with
Which
yours.
contradiction would my church hold to?
Did Jesus
Well,
carry the cross all the way, or was he helped?
Was Jesus helped carrying the cross?
Yeah, because both things are
I
in the
wouldn't be able
Bible.
to. I believe that Simon carried the cross to help him, right?
But it says
your
that he
issue
carried it
there.
all by himself too, in a different
Yeah, no,
verse.
it wouldn't be a contradiction if we're taking the fourfold gospel in terms of two views. If I saw you carrying the cross the whole way, but then someone else saw somebody helping you, right? It'd just be a perspective of the view, right? So, for
honestly, we
example,
could probably
I could
take
see
you to church on a lot of contradictions within scripture, but that doesn't necessarily detract
I'm
from
sure you
its
could.
value and the inherent truths that it imparts. But really what I'm here to say is we obviously have these differences in interpretation, and that's all fine and well and good, but according to my beliefs, mandatory vasectomies for men is holy and righteous and good.
Okay.
Amen. Amen. Pickles is an early acolyte, actually, of that. He would agree. So W vasectomies for men, but we're going to enforce those laws on a federal level.
Yeah, I would just state on in terms. I would actually agree with you in terms of the framework you're using here. In terms of might makes right, right? I would agree in terms of if we both just have an opinion, it would just be a fight at that point, right? That's kind of what the issue with the atheist view in terms of objectivity, right? And then I would state that if we were to go into some sort of objective, sorry, I cut out there, an objective moral system to pull from, right? We would just go with the most rationally, logically coherent, not one that doesn't have logical.
Oh, that's mine. That's mine.
Yeah, that's hers. Hello.
Well, hang on. Under what pretense would yours be the most, logical?
Wait, can I ask a question? I'm so sorry because I'm a potential acolyte of
The
Yeah, go for
vermitarian.
it.
the vermitarians. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I just the confusion is that like you said the Protestants got it wrong. So then are you a Catholic by chance?
No, I don't. I don't have any specific doctrine. I'm not saying the Catholic. I never stated
I'm
any.
so sorry.
Well,
I didn't need an extended answer from that. I don't know if
well,
you
no.
know this,
You
but when the
straw man my
Protestants,
position, though.
no, I'm not done yet. Yeah, when the Protestants did come to America, that's where all of the others stemmed from, like Quakers, and we get into like evangelicals and non-denominational. And I don't know if I'm about that. Gemini, does yours pull from Protestant or does yours pull from Catholic? I just want to make sure that we're
Straight from the mouth of Christ itself. He talked
Oh,
about the
wow.
apostolic
Oh, shit,
succession.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
I want
also-
to get as
we
close as
give-
possible.
We give gummy worms out at Eucharist too.
Okay.
Great.
So might makes
But
right.
yeah,
if y'all
no,
come to my church,
like I
we're
said,
coming. Yeah.
like I said, I hold to I don't necessarily hold to Catholic. I don't hold to EO. I kind of hold more to the early church fathers and their logical view.
Oh, what denomination are you?
Christianity.
All right, W Tanner's in the chat. We're done with him. W Tanner's in the chat. And this is how silly I hear. Like this, I'm sorry to all the Christians that are, people who watch me, but I think that this has no business in our government and law making decisions. So, and this just shows the absurdity of it.
Almost as if our founding fathers said that Congress shall make no law establishing.
Yeah, the other thing I like to point out that I think is really funny because people like to fearmonger Islam. If you want to use religion to create laws, you are creating Sharia. I just want you to know that is you're doing what you say you don't like. So I just hope we're all treat everyone equally in where we say we don't like things that people are doing because that's what you're doing.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
No, that was a bad text. I'm sorry, guys. That was offensive to Texans everywhere. I love you guys.
I didn't feel offense.
No, you can mock Texans all you want in my channel.
Y'all are the best. Okay, I will drop down so you can have some more fun here. All right.
Much
care,
love.
guys.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
Nicholas. Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Gemini.
Love. Chat, don't forget to tap the screen. Let's get to like 25K real quick. Let's send this out to more people. Shakira law. Ooh. Hello, David.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Getting new tattoos?
No.
Why not? You broke?
Hey, I have priorities.
What?
Mhm.
What's the priority?
Do you always want to talk about my financials when you come up?
No, not at all. Tattoos are expensive,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, what does one of those cost? Just curious.
It cost about 2 months of church tithing.
You don't go to church. Get the hell out of here.
It cost about 1 month of church tithing wherever you go. Depends on where you go. Yeah.
$1,000?
If that's all you tithe. Thank you, Delightish. Thank you for the $2. Atheism needs religion.
I'm worth $40. It's $40.
Yeah, 150 an hour, 250 an hour. Depends on who you go to. I do get a discount at mine for being a believer in the worms.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice. But then you get an infection, which costs you $2,000.
That is true. That is true.
You could probably sue that guy for get the infection, right? Why not?
You sign a waiver when you get tattooed.
Oh, no shit. So you can't sue them.
Yeah.
So if you lose your arm, you're screwed.
No, I think that you would actually have a case to make that would be worth pursuing. But if it's $2,000, it would be really hard to convince like a civil
It was
court.
in your hand, right? So let's say they couldn't stop the infection, right? And you had to amputate your hand.
That would definitely have a case. I would have a case to say my losses would exceed X amount, yada yada yada. But that didn't happen. So,
well, there's next time. You always got to keep your ducks in a row.
yeah,
because you're living without a net right now.
That's not true. I always have the David Kick Fund, and I have GoFundMe, which is the MAGA health system.
Are you getting good money right now? Because you need 40. We're not at 40 yet?
We haven't.
How much are we at?
We're at $0 right now, David. David, do you want to actually talk politics? Are you just up here to be antagonistic?
We're at $0.
Do you want to just be antagonistic? You never have anything of substance to say, David. Come on.
Well, hold up. Who am I talking to right now?
Dark Pickles.
I'm not. It's not the Brain Trust, right?
The what?
You're not the Brain Trust.
What's the Brain Trust?
You're like, I have nothing of substance.
You come up here and you nitpick at my financials when you come up here. I don't think you've really said anything else.
I'm not nitpicking. You're living without a net. I respect that.
Yeah, I live dangerously.
You're one incident from being on the street.
Yep. Same thing with everybody else in the American healthcare system. I think it's like 65% of all bankruptcies is from medical debt. So I'm pretty sure it's like everybody. And then there's suicide that comes from that.
That's dark, Pickles.
Yeah. Well, that's the MAGA way.
That's very dark. So if we had universal health care, right? And everybody got health care. Am I out of here?
No.
Okay. If we had universal health care, would everybody have to pay something?
Yes, the same way everybody has to pay something right now.
Do they?
Are you on insurance, David?
I am. I have to pay.
So you pay. Yeah. What about people who aren't
on insurance? Pickles?
Yes, and then no, and then I pay taxes. So I'm paying essentially for the subsidies that go into the ACA. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Not as resentful as MAGA.
Well, I would think you'd be somewhat pissed because you're not even getting anything out of it.
It's not true. I get a lot of things out of it. I get a healthy society to look at, somewhat. I don't have to look at like a bunch of like dead, starving people in the street as much as I would if that wasn't there.
Wait, are you saying that we don't have a lot of dead, starving people?
The caveat was as much as it would be if it wasn't there.
Oh, we'd have more. Okay, I understand. How do you know?
Because we've seen before and after. We've seen before and after projections, and we can see that things like Social Security has kept people 65 and up from just dying earlier, being homeless to a degree. We see the same thing with children dying early to a degree, and with the advent of modern medicine.
You're against that?
I'm
You're
against
old people dying and children dying.
Yeah, it's called being liberal.
All right. Well, you don't have a problem unaliving a fetus.
Yeah, those things don't suffer.
Oh, okay. So there's no suffering involved in that whatsoever.
Not before 18 weeks. No.
What happened? Are you for one after 18 weeks?
No.
Why not?
Because that involves a sentient mind that can deploy consciousness that would feel pain.
What do you say about people that don't care about that are on the left and they're like, anytime before it's born?
So I think that anytime after 18 weeks, I trust a mother, I trust women to make decisions, especially when it's a hard decision late in the pregnancy. I don't feel like entrapping them into giving birth to like a stillborn or somebody with some sort of radical issues or something that would kill a woman. I personally wouldn't pursue an abortion after 18 weeks, but I respect the ability for somebody else with a brain in today's society to make the right decision when it comes to this. And not to mention, we just have the math, and the majority of abortions come it's like 12 weeks.
You personally can't get an abortion.
That's true. So I guess that's solved.
Yeah, because you said, I personally wouldn't get an abortion after 12 weeks.
Yeah, I personally would advocate for my significant other. I've done extra steps to make sure this has happened. I am more like ethically like consistent than any MAGA that hasn't had a vasectomy.
Oh, okay. Got you. Have you had a vasectomy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't have any kids?
No.
You don't want any kids?
Nope.
When did you get that?
Same year as Roe v. Wade, 2023, December.
Oh, that was a very good move on your part. Because, you're having trouble taking care of yourself, let alone someone else.
Yeah, so I don't want to bring a child into the world where I can't financially.
If I was in your situation and had your motivation.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of us. There's a lot of people, especially in the bottom, like 60% of the economy. Can't do it.
Zero motivation, and are just, whatever.
David, you watch me just as much as I stream.
I know, but I mean, are you making it on this whole stream thing?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm looking at a basement, right? I'm asking you, are you getting ahead streaming?
I think that I've been cut at the knees a little bit.
One stream away from the street.
So after my permanent ban on one of my accounts, it's been a little rough, but before that, I was doing just fine. So yeah, we're gonna have a rough few months, and then we'll be good.
What kind of cash? Like, is it like 20 grand or more?
A year?
Yeah.
I don't discuss my finances.
Oh, give us a ballpark.
No.
Why?
No, because when you make money off of donations, you don't sit around and say, "Oh, I make so little," and it sounds like you're asking for money, or you say, "Oh, I make so much money," and it's kind of a slap in the face to people who might not even
So
be
you're
doing that.
thinking, I
So
think you're
that is just a
thinking if
rude
you
question to ask
tell,
somebody. How much
you
money do you
say how
make,
much,
David?
about 100 grand. So I would say if you tell them what you're making doing this, you're saying they're not going to donate to me.
No, I'm saying that there's no good outcome of me sharing this. No,
Well, if they don't think you're making enough and they like you, they're going to give you more.
I don't want to do that.
Aren't you trying to get money off this whole thing?
I'm not just a dirty grifter. I'm actually here trying to make a change and talk to people like you and your friends.
Wait. So you're trying to make a change by talking to people that are slightly mentally ill and actually give you money. They give
You
you
said
money.
it to me, man. You said it to you said
No.
it, not me.
I'm not going to give you any money. You
Did
grift
you
off the
just label
mentally ill.
yourself mentally ill?
No, you grift off the mentally ill.
Are you saying MAGA's mentally ill?
No, they're not sending you money either.
I think that
Who's
I
sending you money?
I I do the same thing that Trump does, right? So Trump says, "Hey, these are my politics. Send me money."
No. You have no power. Who sends you
Wait,
money?
so I need to be rich before I ask for money?
No, you're not asking. You're grifting off mentally ill people.
And Trump isn't.
No. He's the president of the United States, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and he's grifting. He's a multi-billionaire. Asked for money. Georgia, thank you for the $40. Tell David to mind his fucking business. No wonder his wife left him. David, I'm sorry, I had to read the whole thing. Smooches. W. Georgia. And Shelby? From a second-year law student who's apparently mentally ill. Shelby, thank you so much. Shelby, if you want to just send me like 1 penny, and I'll kick the next person that you don't like. Hello.
What's going on? How are you?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. What do you like about Trump?
I guess for starters, do you invest at all or no?
No.
Okay. I would just say that I've been doing pretty well in the stock market. I think the stock market's been doing pretty well, and the economy. And I think that people don't really put what.
What percent of the economy do you think has so much invested in the stock market that it creates an entire living?
Yeah, everyone always says that. I feel like any American citizen has the opportunity to invest, even if it's a couple dollars or
That's
a dollar.
I know, but that's not enough to actually make a living, right?
Well, you don't know that. Like,
I absolutely do know that. What stock could you have made a whole living if you invested in $1 or $2 a month? Because that is a privilege.
You do options trading, but that's not the point. The point is, I think that people, instead of buying alcohol and buying things that they shouldn't be using, they could be saving up or investing and putting it into like a high yield saving account.
I'm 2 years sober, so we covered that.
Okay, good. But I feel like a lot of Americans just in general, I think.
Have you ever heard of voting Democrat? That also helps the economy.
Oh, what?
Voting Democrat, that helps the economy a lot too.
How?
Every single time Democrats are in office, we create 50-to-1 jobs. Republicans do. We balance the budget. We print less money. We cause less inflation. We do better in the stock market, honestly. Yeah. We don't cause the whole world market to crash twice in 1 year. We don't do things like that.
Okay, I have a question. If Donald Trump was a Democrat, would you vote for him?
No.
Exactly. So your point basically made no sense.
Because Donald Trump doesn't have democratic policies. If Donald Trump espoused all of the democratic policies and he wasn't like a horrible person and divisive and fascist, then sure, maybe, but he wouldn't be Donald Trump anymore.
If Donald Trump had the policies that you like, democratic policies, and he's the same person, would you vote for him?
No.
Why?
Because he would still be dividing the nation socially. Because of the way he attacks his opponents, the way he talks to the people that didn't vote for him, the way he punishes states that didn't vote for him, the way that he punishes our allies overseas and is fractured NATO. So even if he was all of this like super leftist, whatever, he would still be very problematic and the worst diplomat to ever exist still.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, I appreciate your opinion. Do you really think that he's the worst that meant to ever exist?
I think he's the worst diplomatic president we've ever had.
Okay, that's fair. Is there something that you dislike about what he's doing specifically?
Yeah, putting tariffs on the whole world from his desk, illegally enriching himself to the tune of $4 billion last year, doing deals in the Middle East, being influenced by Qatar, attacking Iran and fucking up the price of oil for the whole world, and fracturing NATO, basically gutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Thousands of people will die every year. Millions of people will die overseas because of what he did. There's literally not a single metric in the economy you can brag about besides maybe the stock market, which goes up every year despite who's president. I would argue that easily the stock market would be doing way better because his tariffs have created uncertainty in the markets. So whatever you're looking at now, whatever the Dow is, like 48,000 or something, it was higher months ago, and every single thing that Trump has done has stifled the growth of the stock market.
So I guess one of the things I want to talk about is preface the conversation. I don't think Trump's a good person. I think he's objectively a bad person. But with that being said, like, for example, do you think it's a bad thing that other countries fear Trump and think he's kind of a bit of a psychopath?
No.
In my personal opinion, I think that the fact you don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I think it is a bad thing. No, I think it's a bad thing.
Why do you think it's a bad thing that other countries are afraid of?
For the same reason
Trump?
you're afraid of Putin.
I'm not really afraid of Putin, but okay.
Okay, so why don't we invade Russia? Why don't we go stop Russia at Ukraine?
Because it's not our war to fight.
It absolutely is.
Why?
Have you heard of the Budapest Memorandum?
What?
No? So in 1994...
Well, I'll tell you... No, I have not, but I'll tell you my...
Okay, well, I'll explain this to you first. Budapest Memorandum was 1994. Ukraine, after the fall of the USSR, we convinced Ukraine, hey, since you're a brand new company, maybe you shouldn't have all those nukes. So we convinced them to, the only sovereign nation in history of the world to give up their nuclear arms. And in exchange, we promised to protect them. And now we're not.
Okay. I understand your point. So I want you to think about this way, right? If you knew that, say you weren't from America and you were from Israel, right? And you knew that Donald Trump was threatening to genocide your entire country, and if you were a leader in a different country and you saw that guy, you would not want to mess with him. You'd be like, okay, this guy's a psychopath. He's terrifying. We're not going to mess with the U.S. ever. And I think that's a beneficial thing.
I think it says more than that. I think it says more than that. I think it shows Trump. First of all, we can look at his cabinet and the inner workings of the Pentagon, and we can see that no one's getting along. Like the Navy leader just got fired. It's a whole mess. But it also shows the weakness of Trump. So if Trump has already played his biggest card, which is threatening genocide, and then didn't do it, I think that just shows, obviously, that he's just a weakling, that he's just a saber rattler. And it also has pushed our friends, the people who are developed countries who are responsible for keeping the world peaceful, has shown them, hey, we can't be friends of the United States. We can't trust them right now. Because that is not somebody we can endorse. That's something we can endorse. So all of our friends on the world stage have backed away, and now the world is less safe. Because an attack on one is an attack on all, but now it seems like Russia might be able to attack their neighbors, and U.S. might not get involved.
Mm-hmm. So, no, I think that's a fair point. But so, can we talk about the war? Just the war with the U.S. is currently involved in.
Sure.
So, in my personal opinion, obviously I'm against the war, but I will say I think that it wouldn't be a terrible thing if the U.S. started to domestically produce a lot of their oil and didn't rely on other countries to, like, they didn't rely on the Strait of Hormuz to
That's not a
get
thing.
all the oil, because then there's no, like, possible way they can have leverage on us.
That's not how that works. Not how that works. So, first of all,
the U.S. doesn't have any oil supply.
No, I'm saying we're already at full capacity, pumping as much oil as we possibly can, and our main resources, like the most richest of like places that we are drilling, they're almost tapped.
Mm.
We're also at max refining rate, but even if we drilled 100% of our own oil, which it would
We
have
should.
to, I think it's like it's like double. We don't have nationalized oil, so we don't own the oil company. So when oil is scarce across the world and we have a lot of it, these oil companies will look at China and go, "Oh, you're willing to buy it for $5? Well, I'm going to sell to you. I'm going to sell to whoever else needs it that is going to buy it for more." So that's how the oil market works. It's not just the oil we drill is ours. We also drill more than any country on earth throughout history. We still drill, even under Biden. In fact, I think we have now started to slump. We now have, in fact, reduced drilling from Biden. So I just don't think that's a thing you can just go tell our people to do. Hey, go drill more oil. Only the market will decide how much we can drill.
Yeah, I get that, but you literally just said yourself that we were the biggest oil suppliers in the world, didn't you? You just said that 10 seconds ago. So why are we not able to just continue that and not let other countries have leverage over us? And this war would have no value if they knew that we didn't have to rely on them to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Like, they literally have no leverage over us.
So again,
I think
that's not how that works. So like, even if we produced 100% of our own oil, we do 13.4 million barrels a day. I think we consume like 17. So we get roughly like 4 from external sources. But that doesn't necessarily dictate our oil prices. The oil prices are dictated on world market, like I said. So if China is low on oil, if all these other countries are low on oil, the price of oil worldwide goes up. Whether or not we drill our own oil and use our own oil doesn't really make a difference there, because the price of oil is going up here because it's going up over there.
Okay, I got it. I understand. Well, aside from that, just another thing I don't really understand, right? I know a lot of people, a lot of liberals that come on here and like debate about this. They often say that the whole entire reason that Trump started this war was to avoid the Epstein files, to distract the rest of the U.S. from the Epstein files. In my personal opinion, I don't think that's really a valid reason. I don't really see that to be the case. For the main reason being, why would you start a war, a worldwide war, to avoid yourself from something that's inevitably going to come out regardless? Like, and he's getting more heat for starting a war and hurting the economy rather than just protecting some of his friends that are in the Epstein files.
What's wild is I just don't have very many people coming up and going, "I'm done. The price of oil has just really turned me off." Like, nobody's really done that, but I don't think that would be my suspicion for why he started the war. I would say that Trump just has close ties to Bibi Netanyahu, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is Bibi's godson. And I think that in 2018, when Trump pulled us out of the Iran nuclear deal, it was on behalf of Bibi, because Bibi, we can see him throughout the last 40 years, he's tried to convince our presidents and Congress that Iran is this huge threat, and that they're radical, and they're just too radical, and they have nuclear bombs. And when Obama came in and he said, "All right, we got this Iran nuclear deal, we're going to just oversee every bit of enriched uranium that you have," it took away the reason for us to invade Iran, or for Bibi to justify invading Iran. So Bibi has convinced Trump to pull us out of that. There was no logical reason to do it. It was against all the signatories' wishes in the Iran nuclear deal. And it was just so bad for us, and it's what allowed them to enrich uranium to 60%. So he basically is solving the problem he created, and a lot of MAGA just don't really know that whole story.
Yeah, no, I got it. I think it's good background. Again, like, I never really think that I never really claimed that Trump is a good guy. Right? Like, I think that I think that he would be a better president than Kamala would have been, but that doesn't mean that he's a good person. But
I don't know if you have a case to make there, but
why I don't have a case to make there?
How he's a better president than Kamala would have done. Like, Kamala would not have made us bankrupt and be responsible for a quarter of the entire nation's debt.
You could say that, but she hasn't been in office. How would you know that?
Because her proposals for the tax budget were like opposite of Trump.
Bro, you think proposals mean anything? Let's be real. You know how many
Yes.
presidents propose something and they never follow through with it? Like every single president in the
So
world. Come
how often do we write the tax code?
on. Every 4 years.
No.
Okay, I don't know. It's a trick question. What's the answer?
It's like every 10 years.
Okay.
So Trump has
So-
been able to write it twice now because of his
Yeah.
to skip in 2 terms. So
Okay.
now he's responsible for 20 years of the tax code. And if Kamala were in office right now, she would say the tax code's got to do this or else I'm not signing it. She could say that.
And why do you think Trump would want to hurt the economy? Like, what is that? How does that benefit him?
He's fucking enriching the shit out of himself. He's given himself a raise with these tax cuts.
Do you really think he needs more money? The fact that he would
Yes.
screw over the economy as president?
Yes.
That he'd do that for more money?
Yes.
Do you really think that, though? Or you
Yes.
think that because you don't like him?
Yes, yeah, no, like he's historically done this. This is how he's done business. He's burned every single relationship he's ever had. When he built Trump Tower, he got Polish workers, undocumented, to come build it, and he didn't pay them. Like, he is notorious for this. So yes, he does not give a fuck about anybody. I think that truly he is a malignant narcissist, just like Hitler was. And I could just point you towards his face on passports. He tried to rename the Gulf of America to Gulf of Trump, and he was stopped. He's building an arch bigger than anything we've ever built, any monument we've ever built with our tax dollars, the ballroom. He's putting his name on literally everything. It's like he's running around with a stamp, just stamping his face on everything. It's fucking weird. So yes, I think he really, truly only cares about himself.
He's putting his stamp on everything.
Yes, his face is on the fucking dollar bills now. His signature's on all of
it's
our
not,
money.
though. You're just making shit up.
No, he's putting his face on fucking money, dude. Yes,
he's not,
there's
dude.
people. It's
You're
a cult of
literally
personality.
lying.
It's a cult of
You have
personality.
no proof of that.
Yes,
Where's your
we have Congress
proof.
proposing him putting his face on money. Yes,
No, I'm serious. Do you have any proof of him
Yes.
putting his money, his dollar on the
Yes.
his face on the
yes,
Where?
and his signature is coming out on our money, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
You
That's not
don't
true.
believe that?
That's not going to get passed. That's not true. That's literally.
It's
just
going.
not
It's
true,
literally
bro.
already happened. What are you talking about?
So look it up. Show me proof. I beg you, please.
Dude, as of March 2026, U.S. Department of Treasury has announced President Donald Trump's signature will appear on newly printed U.S. paper
Yeah.
currency.
Let me see your screen. Can you not show me?
Yeah, hold on.
It's a U.S. federal tax code.
Yeah, that's something else.
What's your source? Antimaga.com.
I know you guys are trained, like the Nazis in Germany, to Lugenpress everything that doesn't agree with you, but this is very much the truth. This is U.S. Department of Treasury.
He's obviously not going to do that, though.
It's already done!
So, if I pull out a dollar bill, I go to the bank, I get a dollar bill, it's going to have his face on it?
If it's freshly minted, it's going to have his signature on it. The only
Has
sitting
that-
U.S.
has that ever
president
been
to ever
done?
do this. Nobody, no sitting president has done this. No.
And why do they allow him to do that?
Because they're obsessed with it. It's a cult.
The government, the entire government is obsessed with
Congress, yes, his people, his sycophants. The way he filters people out, it's pay to play. So you have to go to his golf course. You have to donate a few $100,000 to even be a part of his golf course, and then he funnels those people into Congress. He funnels them into Senate. He pays them to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars for their races, and then they come and they say, "Oh my God, we're gonna name this bridge and this airport after you." And that's a thing in Florida. They've got a Donald Trump airport now. Like, it is sick, dude. What if we did this to Biden? You guys would be freaking out.
I don't. you how do you know that?
How do I? Because I read.
Donald Trump Club? And that's just the fact that he bribes government officials to basically do what he wants.
It's open. It's open record that we can see where donations come from. And yes, every single person that has spouted stolen election bullshit or whatever you have it, that is a requirement for him to endorse you. If you don't say that, he endorses your opponent. That is open record.
All right. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy, but it's objectively crazy, right? But I'm not saying that he's worse than any other option that we had during that election. So
I'm not.
he also-
This just goes to the fact that I'm just saying yes, he's narcissist, and he doesn't really care about anyone other than himself. And look at the way he obsesses over things. Not one single person that has slighted him has escaped the wrath of whatever federal government arm he can use to punish them. Every single James Comey, this indictment that just came out for James Comey is fucking insanely stupid, and it took him a year to write. It's so bad it already got thrown out. It's insane. He's profoundly stupid and obsessed with his opponents.
Do you seriously think that he R-A-P-E-D, Eugene Carroll, by the way? Is that like a fact?
I do think that he either digitally penetrated her or with his member. Yeah,
What? He digitally penetrated her? What does that even mean?
with his fingers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could have just okay. I obviously, if I knew that going into the voting, I wouldn't have voted for him. I'm not really. Is it proven in civil court, criminal court?
Yes, the entire jury said yes, that he absolutely did.
Okay, well, I'm obviously against that. I think that's crazy. So, like, regardless of his personality and his psychotic tendencies, I do think that. Look, he ran for president before. He was president in 2016. We already saw what he did.
Nothing.
I think well, he did some stuff.
What did he do? What was his biggest thing besides a tax cut for himself?
Tax and Job Act.
91% of all those tax cuts were to the top 1%. So
That's
just tell me you don't know math.
98% was the top 1%.
91.
Okay, and then the other 9% was probably pretty beneficial for the bottom 99.
It's not a very even spread, man.
No, I agree. I think. Well, are you a fan of taxing the rich? What are your opinions on
Yes.
that? Yeah. No, I don't.
All right.
I don't disagree with you on that.
This I'm going to bring this up. Do you see this? This is the deficit by president. Okay.
Mhm.
And when Republicans run the government, they fuck up the deficit. And Democrats get in, they balance it. And then Republicans fuck it up and gave Obama this big bill to pay for. And he even fixed it. And then Trump came in and fucked it up again. And then Biden immediately reduced it. So yes, this causes inflation. This causes all sorts of things like the wealth gap. And if we can look back to where this all started, there's this thing called Reaganomics. And we can show you how Reagan started all this, and it never trickled down. And you can just see this on a chart right here. You see this chart, how these two lines run away from each other?
Yep.
This is when tax cuts for the rich started. That's what y'all are doing. You're making rich people richer, poor people poor.
I obviously don't think that we should be making poor people poorer and rich people richer, but I don't think that was ever his goal.
That is literally, yes. He came in, he golfed 1 out of every 5 days of his last presidency. He spent $200 million of taxpayer money on his own golf courses to golf, and he literally passed one bill that was worth mentioning. One. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Dude, I don't like. I guess the point I'm making is I think he's just a better option relative to Kamala. And I think that for one reason, honestly, look, have you seen those videos of like Kamala being a complete chameleon in her speeches?
Kind of like how Trump sells shoes for black people and golden phones and basically says he's Christian and sells books with his name on it. Yeah, sure.
He sells shoes for black people? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
he says black people love me because I'm wrongfully convicted. And he sells them shoes.
Okay, why is him selling? Why is him?
This
selling
was
shoes
brought
a
up
bad
in the
thing?
context of
Can you
him
explain?
selling shoes.
Okay, but why is it a bad thing? Why is it bad that he
Yeah,
sells shoes to black
I don't know. You tell me. Why is it such a bad thing for a politician to be chameleon?
people? It's a bad thing. It's definitely a bad thing.
Okay, so Trump does it to a much higher degree. Kamala may be changing her vernacular a little bit. It's called code switching. I do it. You do it. I have a dad.
Yeah,
I grew up in Texas. Whenever I talk to my dad on the phone, my country accent comes out really thick. It's the same thing.
I don't think everyone does that. I don't think it's normal.
Okay. Well, I honestly don't think that's a bigger deal breaker than Trump essaying somebody, enriching himself, openly doing corruption, selling pardons. Like this is obviously, if Kamala is trying to appease the masses, in a gentle, softer way, in a way that's constructive and proven, and shows things like plans for balancing the budget. Something that Republicans don't even. That's not even their wheelhouse. That's not even their mindset. They do sports teams politics, and if you were to literally cut through all the noise and just look at this with math and look at it with like an objective mindset of making the economy better, it's not even close. It's not even fucking anywhere close. You would choose Democrats every time.
I mean, yeah, I got it, but he also has 2 more left in his presidency.
But he's fucked up. Can you point to one economic metric that's doing good? He created almost 0 private jobs last year. That's really bad. Like, really bad.
How many public jobs did he create? Non-agricultural.
We have a 56% increase in farm bankruptcies. He's not doing anything good. He's fired a ton of people from the government sector too.
But why do we care about the government employment?
You just asked me about it. That's on you. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think that there's just. All right, can I bring up another topic? I'm not trying to pivot. I just want to bring up something else. It's similar.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things that I liked about Trump, so one of the arguments that a lot of liberals make, I mean, I don't know if I've heard you make it before, but you're a liberal, right? I'm not like misrepresenting you. Okay. A lot of liberals I talk to on TikTok, they always say, "Oh yeah, like jobs are being reduced by Trump and the unemployment rate's up." But then why are you letting illegal immigrants come into the country and take away jobs from the average American?
Okay.
And look, they always say, "Oh, but it's always the jobs that these Americans don't want to work." Like,
no,
dude,
that's not how that works.
There's still more people coming into the country.
More people. There's not
more people.
a finite amount of jobs. So when more people come, it creates more jobs. So here's a fun fact for you: for every 500,000 people we deport, 44,000 U.S. Americans lose jobs.
Okay, but it's still people that are losing jobs. You understand that, right?
No, for every 500,000 we deport, U.S. Americans lose jobs.
Okay, and how about the absolute opposite of that?
For every 500,000 people we let in, 44,000 U.S. Americans get a job.
And you think that's beneficial?
Yes.
So 1 in every 10 people basically gets a job.
Yes, so people coming creates jobs, people leaving reduces jobs.
So are you advocating for open borders?
No. We can have like a super streamlined process. We should be maximizing the amount of people coming in that are good people, that want to work. I don't see why we don't do that. Do you know what population decline is?
I mean, it kind of sounds exactly what I think it sounds like.
So I want to draw something for you. So
Sure.
there's this thing called population decline, and by 2080, we're going to be hitting roughly 370 million in population, and by 2100, we're going to dip back down to 364 million. And what that means is we have a population that's shaped like this. So this is old people, this is young people. And you imagine as time goes by, this peak goes up here, and we're just going to have this like upside down triangle. And the reason that's bad is this is what you want the population to look like. This is old people, and you have all these people doing labor, and they contribute to things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. So for every one person dying that needs Medicare, there's 100 people funding it. And when we have this, we have insolvency. So same thing with taxes, everything you can think of. But when these migrants are coming in, military-aged men, they're coming and making our population like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good.
Okay, and why can't Americans just have more children? Why do we have to
How are you gonna? If you know the secret to making people have more kids, I would love to know it. Countries have been trying to do this forever.
I could just introduce myself to some people. I think I could get the job done, but that's not the point. The point is, like, I think that I'm just not a big advocate of illegal immigrants coming to the country. That's all.
Okay,
And yes,
but
I understand your
so
point.
all the legals then we should get all legal. Trump is even deporting legal migrants. He's deported like 500,000 legally present people. He's sending them to death camps and labor camps. We have a dip in tourism too. Like he has fucked up our economy in every sense, and he's enriched himself. He's made $4 billion last year. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not supporting that. I think that's bad. I never.
Do you think Kamala would have done that?
I don't think Kamala would have done a lot. So that's all I'll say.
I think she was the most productive. We have the most productive administration ever. Biden didn't come out and like scream at the news every day, talk about people eating cats and dogs, but he passed more legislation than any president in recent history. Like great legislation.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't think it was Biden though. I think he was in his wheelchair and someone was just holding his hand and making him sign papers.
I think Trump is 12 times dumber than Biden, and I think it's the same thing. I think that Trump's had his hands on like Gulf of America, but I don't think he has any actual like any doing in all of the bullshit he's doing, unless it's directly making him money. I don't think he's actually like all of his ideas are backwards for our economy, backwards for the well-being of our people. They're not America first. Like less people have healthcare, less people have food stamps, less people have Social Security because of Trump now. He hasn't done anything positive you can brag about. I think it's just a cult of personality.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, dude, I don't think I understand. Like, I just think that there's so many better options that we could have voted for rather than both Kamala and Trump, right? Like, are you seriously telling me there's no one else that's better than Kamala and Trump?
No, I'm not saying that, but given our two options, we had somebody who was in government for 27 years, who's worked in every branch of fucking government, who's a lawyer, who passed the hardest bar exam in the country, and then we have Trump, a game show host.
A game show host? Do you think that people voted for him totally disregarding his last presidency? You think no one saw what he did in his first presidency? He was like, all right, like this guy's kind of decent. Like
100%. No MAGA knows about any legislation passed in the last 8 years. 100% no MAGA knows what the budget looks like. 100% no MAGA knows what a deficit looks like between presidents. 100% Trump does this thing called flood the zone. So no matter what Kamala's policies were, if they were the best policies on earth that God handed them directly to her, you guys wouldn't have even heard them. You would have heard about Trump calling her not black. You would have heard about Trump just saying the most egregious, insane things, because that's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about some boring plan to build 3 million homes.
Dude, you're making good points. I'm not like disagreeing with you. I just think that I don't know. Like, no, I guess I personally did not think that Trump would be doing all the things that he's doing now and implementing all of his crazy fucking like propaganda and laws and naming countries after himself and starting wars. That's not really what I voted for. Because I saw his last presidency and he didn't do any of that in his last presidency. That's a fact. Like, he didn't do anything outlandish where you're like, okay, like this guy's a fucking psychopath. But then he ran again and people are like, okay, we know what he's capable of. No one really knows Kamala at all. And I just think it was like the safer option at the moment.
Trump has never ran on actual policies.
Well, how do you think he got elected in 2016?
Personality.
You seriously think that Trump got elected on his personality?
Yes.
The same personality that you're shitting on right now?
Yes.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, legitimately, yes. What were his policies in 2016?
I did not follow him that deeply.
What were his policy positions in 2020 that he was offering?
I mean, again, every president in the world can say that they are going to implement policies, not actually do it.
I don't care. I'm saying, what were they, even if he was lying about it? And you don't know. Like, no one knows. It was just like him shitting on his opponents, him saying the thing that made liberals upset. I think that was more important to the average, like, mean, angry redneck voter who hates taxes. He espoused a bunch of anti-government rhetoric on Twitter. I think there was like 360 instances of him saying, like, the government's bad. Can't trust the government. It's all corrupt, and this is the worst. This is the worst government of all time, and all this shit. There's no politician that came out and said these things besides Trump, because he just can't help himself.
I have a question. Can you name me a single policy that you like that Trump is going to pass in 2020?
He doesn't tell us what his policy. He doesn't advocate for policy. So I can read you his policies off his website, and they're sad, dude. They're really bad.
Just read one. Read one.
Yeah.
I want to like talk about it. Go on. I just don't really believe that a president could run for the American country and not have any policies that are beneficial. Just because I don't know about them doesn't mean he didn't have any.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is 2024. This is on his website, RNC platform, DonaldJTrump.com is what the URL is. And there's a few things. And it's so incoherent, it's laughable. Unleash American energy. Under President Trump, the U.S. became number one producer of oil and natural gas in the world. We will soon be again by lifting restrictions on American energy production, terminating Socialist Green New Deal. Socialist is done. Like this is Biden. He drilled far more gas than Trump and oil. If he would have stopped a year early, he still would have outdone Trump. So this is just stupid. He's like, do what Biden did, I guess. Rein in wasteful spending. I want to show you a graph real quick. Trump versus Biden, the debt. Rein in wasteful spending. This is what Trump spent versus what Biden spent. What? Cut costly, burdensome regulations. So I posit you could name one regulation you would like to be cut. Could you?
Let me see. I think reining in wasteful federal spending is pretty important now. It's not like a horrible policy.
But Trump.
Are you serious? Like, how would that not be a good thing? I think that's a pretty good thing that he's trying to advocate for.
That's not what he did.
Well, dude, but you also can't follow through with everything you wanted. Like,
no, his first term. You believe that Trump is coming and reining in wasteful spending. He spent $8.4 trillion his first term, and his second term he did that in 1 year. He is responsible for 25% of the nation's debt, and he's gonna come in and save us money now.
I get it, but you're not even like talking about what he spent it on. Like, do you even know what he spent that money on?
Yeah, the military, tax cuts for the rich.
Great, awesome. The military's awesome. Good. I'm happy about that.
Okay, I mean, he cut $1 trillion from Social Security and gave it to rich people.
I have a question. Are you against him funding the military?
What more do we need in the military?
I don't think there's any reason to short the military.
Okay, but adding $2 trillion to it just randomly is a good idea, even when we have like people dying at home.
Well, guess what? We're in a war right now, aren't we? Isn't that beneficial to us now?
Well, this was before war. This was like in peace. This was during peaceful times.
Yeah, and maybe he did that because he foreseed something happening.
Again,
like, wars happen all the time. Like, it's good that he
we spend more than the next 10 countries combined. Like this is just stupid at this point.
And yeah, but that's why we're the most powerful country in the world. You know that, right?
Okay.
And and you think that's not a good thing?
We could have easily maintained that and not did the extra, right?
What?
We could have maintained that and not done the extra.
I mean, my point is, there's no like bad side of adding extra funds to the military.
Yes, we have finite resources, and when we choose to just make bombs that kill people versus making food stamps that feed people, I would argue, yeah, there's an easy choice to make.
Yeah, dude, of course. But I think maybe how much money did he allocate towards food and food stamps and all that, and like helping the economy?
He took 80,000 people off of food stamps his first term, and he took another 360 million off of food stamps this term. And for every dollar we spend in food stamps, it's $1.50 in economic activity. It's literally a net positive in every way.
And why do you think he did that?
Because he's a selfish idiot and a fascist.
You think he's taking food away from the people that voted for him because he wanted to fund the military? That makes no sense.
Oh, what? Like, that's what he did.
Does that make sense to you? That makes zero sense to me.
Well, that's what he's doing. I can give you a list right now of the things he's proposing to cut even further to add even more to the military. He's literally got these two things. Yeah.
Give me one other thing.
I got a whole list. Okay. First of all, he cut every single scientific researcher out of the government. He's cutting $515 million for grants for farmers for agricultural research, $5 billion for medical research, $1.1 from scientific research funding, $5 billion from public health programs, mental health services, disease prevention, $50 million grants for communities build more housing, $1.6 billion job training at-risk youth. Fully eliminated. 90 million grants to diesel pollution, fully eliminated. NASA research.
And you're saying he put that towards the military?
Yes.
He put all that. Why?
Yes.
He put he.
Yeah,
he
you
took
tell
away
me.
Money from, what do you mean? You tell me. I'm not Donald Trump. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
He took away money from mental health funding for the military.
Yes, that's the Republican way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really support that.
Then don't.
I don't support that. I just told you I don't support that.
He took $10 billion from USAID, which will kill 14 million people by 2030, and then he's suing the government for that same amount for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's horrible. I don't think that's a good thing. I never said it was. I just didn't believe that he would do that. I don't think that makes any sense. I don't see any beneficial reason for him to do that.
Have you heard of like the tenets of fascism?
Yeah, bro. I mean, like, you compared him to Hitler 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, so one of the biggest tenets of fascism is supremacy of the military. There's very few leaders in U.S. history or in world history that did like military parades and obsessed over military power. Trump's one of them. Kim Jong-un's another.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I had a conversation with you a little while ago, and you said you don't really. I think we unironically talked about the military. Like, you said, you don't really support the military. Like, you don't like respect the military.
I would say that I don't respect, and nobody should respect the reason we went to the Middle East for 20 years. Do you think we should have been there?
No, but my point is, when you see a guy who went to the military and fought for a country and served our country and put his life on the line, don't you respect that?
Not arbitrarily, no.
So that's okay. That's like maybe the main reason I disagree with you.
Okay, so
like that's
you support our terrorism in the Middle East, in Iran or Iraq, in Afghanistan. And are meddling in affairs. Right now, we're strangling Cuba. People are literally starving and dying right now because of us.
That's not my point.
I'm not cheering for the people that do that. No, I don't.
But you don't say they weren't doing that. Would you still support them?
Yeah, sure. My brother is a Marine. I respect the fact that he did that, but I don't have this like holier than thou attitudes. Like, I owe him my life for going out there and fucking with Afghanistan for a few years. I don't think so. If we were actually good people, if we had a different leader like Kamala, and there was an actual justification for military action, then yes, sure. But no, I don't just arbitrarily glaze and bootlick the people that are now getting every benefit known to man from our country and then voting Republican to yank it away from people. Because like 70% of the military vets, they all vote Republican, and they get free healthcare, they don't pay property taxes, they get all of this stuff, free GI Bill. And they're like, oh, fuck socialism.
Dude, no, I get it. But like, I don't even know your brother, and I respect him just the fact that he was in the Marines. That's my point. And I feel like that's like a real American should respect that.
Okay, but I think that just is I think you're just leaning towards this like ultra nationalist idea of we're the greatest country.
I'm just a human being that respects someone that's serving.
Sure, I respect that generally, but if you try to hold it over me, no, I don't. I don't think that that's something you can use.
Over you, bro. It's just a conversation I'm having with you.
Yeah, I know, but
like, taking a shot at your character.
I don't think that I don't think that like I have paid taxes to fund the military. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of the money that is now responsible for killing like 180 school children. I don't have any sort of misconception about how bad that is, and I think that Republicans vastly do.
Yeah, I get it. And like, I guess you don't feel this, you feel the same way about the police, right?
I think that the police is a very bastardized system, and we have all of the data in the world to show that there needs to be an entire reform of police enforcement. And I think that while you can respect police, I think that police also need to do something to earn the respect back from the communities they serve, because we've now gotten things like ICE and the murder of Alex Peretti and Renee Good. And for us to come around and just arbitrarily say, "Oh, well, I sent for you because you're just enforcing a law," is the same thing as like cheering for the brown shirts in Germany when they were doing what Hitler told them to do. I don't think that I just mindlessly think that we should just follow all police enforcement, especially when they've been proven to give black people 20% higher prison sentences for the exact same crimes that white people commit. Or that they're twice as likely to be pulled over than a white person during the day, but not during the night. There's a lot of reform that needs to happen, and there's a lot of nuance. And for us to just blindly love our police departments and police enforcement programs, even though there's blatant, glaring issues of just gravy seal dumbasses that get less training than somebody who cuts hair, I don't think that they're anybody special.
No, dude, I mean, I actually agree with you on that. And that's a good point. I just like respect what they protect us. So I respect them for that reason. But I don't respect, like, I guess they don't want that. I don't think they should have any privilege over us. Also, low key, pan your camera to that dog. I want to see that shit.
What'd you say?
Pan your camera to the dog. I want to see it. Your dog, bro. Put the camera on your dog. Call him over.
Pickles.
His
Pickles.
name's Pringles. Oh, Pickles. That's why your name's Pickles.
Yeah.
Is he locked in? What's he doing?
She's sleeping. She had a long night.
Dude, the people want to see the dog. All right, whatever. Let's chill. Anyways, I think that you made a good point about the military. Good point about the police. I listen. I like I said in the beginning of the conversation, I don't respect Trump as a person, and I think over the past few weeks, I've seen a lot of things that he's tried to implement into our country, which I think to be pretty insane, and I'm losing respect for him every day. I wouldn't vote for him ever again, not like I have the opportunity to, because he's not going to be able to run again. And I understand why a lot of people hate him, and I think it's completely valid and completely fair. I guess I was just a little bit blinded going into the election, and I saw what he did in the past 4 years of his presidency, and I thought he would be able to continue that momentum and maybe implement something else beneficial for us, rather than funding his buddies and helping the 1%. Because I think I do agree with the fact that taxing the rich is honestly a beneficial thing. Like, if they're wealthy, they could spare a little bit of their money to the people that need to eat food and survive. Not saying that they didn't earn their money; they absolutely did, and they should not be completely taxed. But there should be some tax, like more tax than the other 99% are, which they aren't. Moral of the story: I appreciate you being very nice in the conversation and not being hostile like Parker and Dean are. And I'm gonna do some research on this. I'm gonna get back to you, but you made some great points, and I hope you have a nice day.
All right.
I'll
You
talk
too,
to you
man.
soon.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
W's in the chat. W's in the chat. If you guys enjoy my stream, don't forget to give me a follow. I think I'm due for another energy drink. Sorry, Cecil. I'm gonna skip you again. Chris, what's up, bub? Gotta get the Venmo. Oh shit! Hold on. Whoa! Hold on. Christian with the $100. W fucking Christians in the chat with a K. Fucking love you, dude. Thank you so much. W Christians everywhere. Oh, don't announce it. Just kidding. But Christian said fuck David. W Christians with a K. Tampon Tim is trying to take credit for stopping the fraud in Minnesota. And you guys really do take the weakest shit. The whole Tampon Tim. Didn't you guys wear tampons on your fucking ears for a while? Give me a break.
Hey, Pickles.
What's up, bub?
You're kicking ass tonight, man.
Thank you.
You were right about something. The 86-46, I claim that wasn't happening under Trump. As soon as I got off the phone, I looked it up, and I got two crazy things to tell you. Number one, you're right. They were having those shirts and everything back then. But I don't know about you. I order a lot off of Amazon. I shit you not, it pointed me to Amazon, and those shirts are for sale right now in all varieties, 85-40 or 86-45, 46 and 47 is for sale right now on Amazon. So that led me to believe that James Comey's definitely going to skate.
They already dropped it. Yeah.
It's definitely lawfare, but he definitely deserved the lawfare. Hey, how many subscribers did you have before you had to start over recently?
Before the ban, it was like 1,200, and then it went down to like 200.
Well, because like right now, I mostly do YouTube. You've got 18,000 followers. Is that a lot or no?
Yeah.
Because you were picking on Tony Heller because he's got 125 subscribers, and I'm scared to bring him up because I'm afraid you're going to start picking on his wife again, like you did last time when we were trying to talk science. But yeah, but there's these other two guys that are black conservatives that I listen to on YouTube. One's called Black Conservative Perspective. His name is Greg Foreman. He's got 994,000 subscribers. My other favorite guy is called Kingdom Reacts. He's got 500,000. What's that? Oh, you got 562? Okay, that's a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it was Dark Pickles that was just showing 18.3 or something like that. Another question for you. Whose signature is on the dollar bill right now? It's usually the secretary. Well, it's the Secretary of State. It changes under every administration.
Okay.
It's always the treasurer, the Secretary of Treasury. So it's already a government official signature that's on there now.
It's usually not a sitting one.
Yeah, it's a sitting one. It's the person who's the current treasurer whose name is on this dollar bill.
I think it's the fact that it's not usually a president. Is that it?
Yeah, that would be the precedent, is that it's a president instead of the U.S. treasurer. But going future, don't you think other presidents would have their signature on the dollar bill as well? It wouldn't just be solely for Donald Trump, right?
I don't know if that's what he did, but I think
you don't know and you don't care because that's.
I think if he changed that,
deliver the news.
If that's how he wanted to, if that's the mechanism he used to put his name on the money, then that's what he did. But I think that is especially, it just points to the fact that he is obsessed with himself.
I think it would be cool to have that signature on there because he's got all those extra M's in there. But the guy's an artist at heart, so that's one thing you guys will never understand about him. But hey, we were talking about these. We both had it wrong about the MS-13. They're not from Venezuela. They're mostly from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. I looked it up after we talked about it. And you said you have no proof that any of these people are even illegal. So I looked that up too, and I'm sorry to tell you, but 92% of the ones that are prosecuted between like 2016, you could look up the stats yourself, are illegals in MS-13. So MS-13 is primarily an illegal terror group that for some reason you Democrats like to support all the time.
I don't think we support them at all, but I don't think anybody's come out. I don't think anybody would win an election saying, "Hey, we love MS-13." That's not a thing.
Okay. Well, before I get kicked, I want to ask you, how come I'm not able to make comments in the chat anymore? They got me blocked.
Someone might have muted you.
No, it's a permanent mute. It's been like that for sure. Yeah.
I'll unmute you. Is anybody able to unmute him? I can't unmute him from here.
It's a badge of honor because my zingers are top notch, and that's why
I know. And it's engagement chat. As much as y'all hate him, I'm sorry. As much as y'all hate him, let him talk.
Thank you, Pickles. Hey, one more thing. I'm going to let you go after this, but did you know John and Jack are the same name? You know how like William and Bill and Robert and Bobby and yeah, John and Jack are the same name. So you could be the Jackie Pickles show. That'd be kind of cool.
I used to have a friend named Robert Richards, and we would call and his middle name was Charles. So his nickname was Bob Chuck's Dicks.
That's good.
Anyway, someone paid to kick you like minutes ago. Thank you, Shelby, for the preemptive kick. He didn't get to espouse anything other than some friendly whatever. We were having so much fun. I know, guys. I know. He does subscribe, and he is somewhat civil. I mean, he's pretty civil to me, but he just has horrible opinions, so we'll let him live. No guarantee. Come on. Much love, Shelby. Thank you. Chad, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop into the box. And I'm glad he does go look stuff up after we talk. That is good. That's growth. It's growth for Cecil. Flourishing. Can we just ask him to change his profile picture? Cecil, if you want to do me a solid, that profile picture is just uncalled for. I've been wrong about a lot. That's okay, Cecil. We love you. Because I'll debate you on why that's a bad idea. All right. Thank you, Cecil. Look at that. Eric Swalwell was a known creep for years. If he was publicly known as a creep for years, we would have ousted him much earlier. It absolutely was a system of power that allowed him to perpetuate whatever the fuck he was doing, and we're against that at every turn. And the second that comes out, we eat them for breakfast. But you guys embrace them. They're like, look how much he's owning y'all by graping women. Andrew, what's up, bub? The kid before was more frustrating than Cecil. You know, I don't know. I want to give him points. I think he was cool. I think that a lot more debaters should be more like civil so that they can be heard. I read today that undocumented, if they get taxed in 40 states, they tax them at top 1% rate. They get no deductions. Yeah, they get no deductions. Chat. What's up, Mr. Dog Trainer?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Doing all right. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you want to debate Trump supporters, right?
Yeah, why do you like Trump?
I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay. What do you like about Trump, man?
Well, I'm a businessman mainly, so I come from a business perspective, And my main thing, the reason I really support Trump is the gold prices. I'm a miner. I do mining. And I'm also a gator meat guy. And the gator meat futures and gold mining are going through the roof right now. And my businesses are doing really well.
Is there
So it's
something
hard for
Trump
me
did to make that possible?
Yes.
What do you do?
Yes. Opened up mining. So I'm just a businessman.
Doesn't that make it more? Doesn't that make it more abundant?
Yes. Yeah.
But that would make the price go
Open-
down.
Say again?
Wouldn't that make the price of gold go down? The reason gold is up is because it's used in microchips, bro. That's not Trump.
No, it's because of hard work from people like me.
No, that
And
didn't make
my
the price of gold
business-
go up. No, it's because because all of the RAM in your computer, all of your motherboards, every single cell phone, every
No
single
offense.
everything.
No, slow down, buddy. No offense. No offense. No offense. No offense, buddy. Supply demand. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Slow down, buddy.
yeah. So
Supply
Trump didn't do
demand.
that.
But it affects my business is doing good. Why would it be against the president?
Because
And he was open. He effectively opened up some. He did his companies through the work we did. Opened up a couple extra mines to us, and we did extract more gold this year than we had in the past.
yeah, for
because of
computer
some of the-
chips.
Yes, and all the stuff we need, obviously, right? And we need this stuff for the future.
Doesn't
And
creating
also-
scarcity make it more valuable though?
Sorry again.
Doesn't creating scarcity make it more valuable?
No, supply demand. And also, I do another business. Sorry to pivot a little bit, but I'm also I farm. I also farm.
So you're one of
So
the
I
you're
mine and I farm.
okay. So but farmers are doing vehemently worse because of Trump.
I'm not. I'm actually one of the farmers that's doing incredibly better.
Okay, so if we
So-
look at the whole economy, and we live in a society, right?
Well,
So
can we talk about my farm, my particular farm, and why we're doing better?
I
Like,
I
we're not-
guess,
I
but
wanna
this
talk
doesn't
about-
apply to everybody, right? Like I could
Well,
say
no,
that
no,
the economy's
exactly what I want to talk about. Why is my farm, my gold mine, and my farm doing better than I farm gators? Yeah, it sounds weird, but I've been for the last 10 years, 15, actually 20 years. I do a gold mining up in the Northeast, and I do gator farming in the Florida area.
okay. All right. Again, this is one person. So if we were to vote based on societal needs and
One
the betterment of
person-
everybody,
Wait, no, slow down. One person. I have 2,000 employees.
and have they been given raises proportional to your increase in profits? I'm gonna say no, right?
Excuse me, sir. How much do you get paid every year? Excuse me,
What does that
sir.
matter?
You're asking a lot of personal questions about people.
I'm not asking you I'm just
Saying
saying
a little weird. You're getting a little weird.
no. What I'm
how much-
illustrating
how
to
much
you
do get paid?
is a thing called
How many employees do you have? How many employees do you have?
I have 0
I have
employees.
2,000.
And I'm not here to do a pissing contest. I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm saying
No, I'm just saying, do you run businesses? I'm just saying.
I have
no
before.
offense, I'm not trying to.
I have before.
Well, no offense, buddy. I'm here as a fellow business owner, and I'm just asking, as a fellow business owner, you know what it's like when you have 20, 100, maybe I have 2,000 employees now between the gold mine and the gator farm. We have 2,000 employees, and it's not slowing down. And I'm trying to tell you why a business in Trump's America is doing well. We're doing gold mining.
For
Gold
every
mining
for every
and
one
gator
business
farming.
for every business
You're not even listening.
I'm not, because you're
You're not
just
listening
you're
to
focused on your own experience when I'm looking at like the experience of the entire country. And for every one business
Okay.
that might be doing good,
Okay.
there's a bunch of
That makes
businesses
sense.
doing bad.
No, I agree. So maybe we should talk about that. Like the gold mining, like mining. Is mining still valuable in America?
It depends on
I'm
who you
thinking-
ask, I guess. Like I don't think it's the most very controversial topic. I mean, maybe if you go against, if you look at like some things that they deregulated in order to tear those gold into those mines.
I'm a
Trump,
miner. My main business is mining. So
Cool.
65%. And mining is not what people think it is. Like river rock. Like, how do you get the stone that's right in front of your house? And the sand.
Someone says the war dropped gold 20%.
Well, they could do gold on the side, but I do all that stuff, my friend. I do all that. We do a lot of.
So, like, if we're just measuring each other's success, and that is a valid point for you, I can just be like, well, I'm super poor, and that cancels your success out, right?
Who?
If I were to say I'm poor, or my friend is really poor now because of Trump, that would cancel your well-being out, right? Like, that's one for one. Now we can just look at the data. We can look at everybody, what everybody's thinking, and say the economy is doing really bad. The economy as a whole is doing very, very bad.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm looking at the next job. Like, we have this like gold mining project, like in North Carolina. I mean, you'd be surprised where we're putting. And then the gator farming. We didn't even talk about this yet. Gator farming to the meat for all these people that are poor. No, there's poor people and the immigrants. They need meat.
Okay. So for every one successful gator farm out there, maybe like yours, there's a bajillion other farmers doing really bad.
Yeah, but we're going to help them scale it. We got to scale things, okay? Farm gator meat is legit, dude. Like, it sounds weird at first when you hear it, but that's the way we're going to feed.
How do you feel about Trump introducing cheap?
The homeless. It sounds weird. I'm like talking about gold on one side, but we're going to feed the homeless with gator meat.
That sounds like a brilliant plan. I just don't think that's going to solve, like, the United States, like, children. 1 in 5 children go hungry every night. I don't think that you can scale your gator farm that big. I don't think that anybody's trying to hop on board to the gator business and do that. I think that it's even rougher now for people because of the circumstances given by Trump.
Well, I have to do the best work I can, So I started to realize, like, the gold mining business. I'm originally Australian. I totally changed my accent. I sound American. I'm from Australia originally. That's why I get on the gator stuff. But the thing is, I see there's so many gators in America and the gold stuff. We can feed all the homeless. All the homeless. It's good meat. I'm telling you, dude. It's like awesome stuff. We fry it up and cook it. And then we can also, believe it or not, like immigrants. I'm totally for Trump. Remember, I'm a Trump supporter.
Can I read you a Bible verse?
We're gonna all the immigrants that we need to deport and they're in the warehouses, we're gonna give them gator meat. We have plenty of gator meat. We can feed them all day.
All right. I want you to bow your head with me, all right? Ephesians 5:18. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. Proverbs 23:20-21. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. Let us behave decently as in the daytime, not in carousing and drunkenness.
Blasphemy.
Not the sexual immorality and debauchery, not in dissension and jealousy.
No, blasphemy. You're not a religious man.
I would say you aren't either, right? You're sloshed.
Blasphemy. You yelled at me.
You're sloshed, right? Are you? How many cups of chocolate milk have you had tonight, bro?
Oh, that's when you don't know what people are saying. You did not research what I said at all. You have no understanding of what I said at all.
Are you drinking?
Checkmate. It's called checkmate. That's the easy way to dismiss somebody's. Oh my goodness. Where are your factoids?
Yeah, I have no interest in trying to tell you that you're not probably doing well in business, bro, but I'm telling you that as the United States, we're not.
Where are your facts? You just started to insult me personally for no reason.
You sound inebriated, sir.
You sound like an idiot. You sound like you're dumb. You have nothing to say. You talk at people for no reason. I am a real Trump supporter, and you lose every debate against us.
Okay.
Where's your support of your... You're telling me I'm drunk, but where are the facts?
I'm asking, you could just be like, hey, I'm not drunk, but you haven't said that
Trump
yet.
is the best president. Trump is the best president ever. And you cannot debate me on that. And you
Sir,
keep avoiding the subject. You keep avoiding the subject. Why is President Trump not the best president ever? You say right here,
That
Trump
Starch
sucks,
Manning
debate
super
me.
chatted $5.
I'm debating you.
Have you
Trump
ever
is
met a
the
MAGA
best
that moved 3
president in the
branches
history
of
of the
government
world.
or marginal
God
tax
has
rate?
told us this.
uh-huh.
Okay, hang up, instead of debating me.
You're not really saying anything.
Why is he not the best president ever?
Because
You tell me.
the economy's in the toilet.
What economy? My friends, the stock market's going through the roof. Stock market going through the roof. I'm making tons of money every day, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next.
That's not the economy.
Next.
Yeah, how's unemployment doing?
We do not need people. We have AI. Sit at home and do remote jobs.
So they're still not being able to do that, right?
People like you have no skills.
I probably have more skills than you.
Okay. So what was the question? Remote jobs.
Can you tell me one
That's not
economic
really a
metric?
a talking point. Ask a question.
I can't debate inebriated people. Sorry, chat. Have some more communion wine, my friend. Cecil, big proud of you. Thank you. Dude, if you're drunk, please don't call the line. Please no. J. Craig Venter, a scientist and entrepreneur who decoded the human genome, has died at the age of 79. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yes, I'd like to talk to Mr. Pickles, please.
That is me. What do you like about Trump?
Oh, am I on live with you right now?
You are.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you hang up on that drunk retard?
You can't say that word, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, Pickles, my argument tonight is going to be more about morals and character. I believe that Trump has better morals and character than Kamala and Biden. The main reason why I would say this is because Biden's a liar. He said he was not going to pardon his son, and then he did. He also said if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, which means that he can't empathize and sympathize with other people. He doesn't see them as human. And Kamala Harris, she would change her personality and her accent depending on where she was at. So you can't trust her. She's a snake. She's fake. Just morally, I'm more aligned with Trump. Morally and character, I would say, is my argument tonight. Sorry, I need some water. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll give you a few. I'll give you a few instances of Trump doing far more egregious, harmful lies. So the election being stolen.
I won't interrupt you. I was just going to say I have more points if you want, but you can work with those if you want. But yeah, morally and character, I align with Trump morally.
All right, so Trump shapeshifts into a Christian when it's convenient for him. Shapeshifts into a Jewish person when you need him to, shapeshifts into somebody who's for minority groups when you need him to. He's lied about creating lower gas prices, grocery prices, creating jobs, who pays the tariffs. He's lied about every single part of his agenda. He's also lied about Project 2025, which he's 60% complete. He's like speed running it. So I feel like saying that you're not going to do something and then doing it is far worse than something like, I don't know, saying like, I'm going to pardon my son for being late on his taxes for a year and then purchasing a firearm while under the influence of a drug, which I would say is far more benign. I think the outcomes of the lies that Trump has said has led people to cast doubt on our democratic system. He has caused people to break apart from their families, break apart from their husband or wife, break apart from their children or their parents. I think that he is a permanent stain on our history, and I don't say that lightly. I truly mean that. And I think that history will not look at him kindly in any sense of the word. And the same can be said about, or can't be said about Kamala. I think every accomplishment that Kamala and Biden made through the context of history and reading about the things that they did is going to outshine this weird conspiracy that they created inflation or high gas prices. We'll see the truth through the things that I talk about.
Yeah, and okay, to start with the very first thing you said, because I like to have a linear dialogue. You said that he cosplays and shapeshifts as a Christian. That's just categorically, for one, there's two problems with that. That's categorically not true, for one. And then for two, there would be no harm caused, even if that were the case. So with the lies that Biden and Kamala told and Obama, actually, there is harm with those versus Trump. Even if he is cosplaying as a Christian, there's no harm done to that. And that, if anything, it inspires more Christianity. So there's no harm in doing that. Someone can tell
I can make the opposite. I can make the opposite counter argument. So when Trump comes out and he represents Christianity with his 3 times divorce, cheated on every wife, love story, and the fact that he has done more to do things against the word of God or Jesus in the Bible, in specific, how we treat foreigners, to feed the homeless, to feed the poor, to help people in need. Trump has done the exact opposite. So he's misrepresented Christianity, and we are seeing a decline in Christianity in the country because of that.
The problem, okay. So we could if you want to talk about lies and lies and lies, you want to talk about that. So in Kamala Harris, her most recent book, she actually criticized Biden a lot, and she said that she kept her mouth shut and she didn't say anything when she had the chance. But if you recall back in 2024, when she was actually alongside Biden, she said that there's nothing different that she would have did. So that's blatantly a liar in a state. Can you at least address that, Pickles? Could you at least address that, please? I'm begging you. I'm begging you to address that. Please don't pivot or change the topic or
Okay.
move the goalposts.
All right. So I would say that on the campaign trail, supporting what her administration has accomplished, and being caught in a gotcha on the campaign trail, having to say, no, I disagree with the work I did myself, would be self-defeating. It would be very bad for her. So sure, maybe she did have to lie. And I would still say that everything that she did was a positive impact on America, not negative. And can't say the same for Trump.
So you just said, okay, so fair enough. So I'm glad that people are watching this too, and this is on YouTube. People can see you just conceded. You admit that Kamala Harris is a well-known liar, documented continuous pathological liar.
Pathological. Chill.
Yeah, you just admitted it, and also, so you're going to say you morally align with pathological liar. Compulsive liars is the other word. Compulsive liar. She's a pathological liar. You just admitted that.
If we were to put money on it, and we had a brain like a mind reading machine, and we were to collect all of the lies Biden and Kamala and Trump have espoused, who do you think would have more?
It would be uncomparable. It would be Biden and Kamala. You do realize that Obama also he I don't want to say the KIL word, but he did that to more people than every serial killer known to mankind.
Through what means?
War. Yeah.
Didn't Trump increase drone strikes by 450%?
See, this is what aboutism. Yes, that is true though. I'll be genuine.
You said more. You said more. That's not true.
the problem is that you've already conceded, you've admitted that you align with the lie. I'm just saying, I personally, Pickles, I can't morally in character align with somebody like that. Just Trump morally, his morals more so fit me than his character. It's just discussing the lie that Kamala told. She said that she would have done different looking back. I understand that hindsight's 2020, but she still lied, and it came back. People saw right through it. People can see through something that's not authentic. People can see through something that's not authentic.
I would say that for the first time in history, I think we can just literally say that everything that comes out of the government right now deems requires extreme fact checking. I think that he has corrupted the government as a whole. He's gutted the entire programs and mechanisms that fact check or hold people accountable for fraud or waste or abuse, and he has enriched himself. And I think that his motives for lying are far different from Kamala's motives for lying. I think Kamala, given the chance, she would have done good for the whole of the United States. I feel like her economic policies would have done far better. That YouTube caller who said the R slur got me banned. YouTube.